Christians will ever be able to do anything because they are up to here by themselves. So they didn't do anything until now, but then they did it knowing that no Christian will ever take the side of the righteous cause. Because they know what the Christians are like. But this time, for the first time, the Christians opened up their eyes. They saw that for the first time until this time.
기독교인들이 알았는데 이게 마지막 때야. 시작이 아니라고. 이미 끝장날 때도 들어와서 알았다.
It was not that Christians came to aware when the whole thing is a great big event is about to begin. It was not then. It when the great big event was about to end, they come to realize now.
그 목사들이 그 전해가지고 내버리면 뭐 형무사가인데 뭐 일주일 따라가갔단 말, 뭐 석 달 전만 해도 생각할 수 없는 일이 벌어졌다.
Like they themselves confessed 3 months ago, I would not have believed if I would be here 3 months later and say the things I say now and feel the things I feel now. Didn't they say? And everyone said it. God works in mysterious way. That means they did not believe in that at that time. God. It was our responsibility.
이 여파를 주지 않고 어떻게 천국의 기독교인들이 단결하냐, 단결시키냐 하는 문제. 중요한 차선을 알아야 된다. 미국이 죽고 살고 기독교가 망하고 뭐 망하는 건 정한 수 없고 정한 위치고 자유세계가 망하냐 안 망하냐 전부가 다 됐다.
We have been saying the destruction of the religion. We have been saying the fall of America, the America being perished or alive again. We have been saying these concepts until now. But this is a very, very time and a very, very last opportunity for the fate of the world. Literally, the fate of the world depends upon this movement. When this movement will get the momentum, will survive and get the momentum, this country as well as the world will have a chance. Is that serious?
미국 없어가지고 저 한국 같은 나라 추방해버리면 다 끝난다고 그러지.
They thought, well, only Reverend Moon is eliminated from this country, and then maybe expel him out of Korea or somewhere. Then the trend that the communist has been building in this country will be intact. Somehow they will salvage this. They thought like that.
이런 때가 오기 때문에 소련의 기관지들은 말이야. 찾는 그 기관지는 소련주의에 대한 챔피언이 누구냐 반대 챔피언을 레버런을 해서 사설을 통해서 세계적으로 설명하고 있어요.
And to much degree we are not aware. But Russians, in the meantime, what have they been doing? They have been doing just like America's media attacked Father on the same frequency, saying the Reverend Moon is the utmost enemy to Sovietism, the champion of the anti-Sovietism. They have been blurting that out in the morning, in the daytime, in the evening, all day, and all 365 days, especially radio. They have been propagandizing that Reverend Moon was the enemy.
자, 이렇기 때문에 이게 좀 종교 자유, 이런 일을 시작보다 이제 정치하는 대중의 이 공산당들은 말이야, 레버런 반대하는 목사들, 공산당 목사들 가서 이보다 더 큰 단체를 만들고 나올 것이다 예상하는 거예요. 틀림없이 나온다는 거예요.
So Father expects now a powerful alliance has been formulated. Although it's very young, it's formulated. Then Father expects there will be some countering force, countering force, which is even bigger than this, might very soon be formulated and try to cope against us.
공산당이 조정할 수 있는 말이야. 이런 뭐 신신학이라는가 이런 모든 혁명 신학을 주장하는 이런 표현을 전부 다 내셔가지고 대대적으로 강력히 행동하는 운동을 전국적으로 펴려고 할 것이다. 그런 것이 성행관이야.
This is Father's prediction now. This is Father's viewpoint that they will very soon organize a strong entity, strong group, forefronted by the new theology, the theology of liberation theology, and the like. This kind of the communistic theology, and with that leading the way, there will be a strong, hitherto until now not being witnessed in America, strong movements, communistic leftist movements, directed into this country. Father expected soon.
그리고 어떻게 번개같이 이러한 것을 방류하는 것을 지금 제일 문제입니다. 선생님은 감옥 가고 그러는 건 그건 제2, 제3차 문제라는 거예요.
Naturally, father's immediate concern today, imminent concern is how to cope against that kind of a forceful movement when it emerges. How we cope with that effectively. That is father's first concern, more so than either father goes to jail or he doesn't go to jail.
자, 이런 조직
That for father is secondary.
전국 조직을 펴가지고 교회 운동으로 표현하시기 위해서는 뭐다 6개월에서부터 1년 걸립니다.
In order for this kind of the new organization be created and implemented, at least it takes at least 6 months to one year is a minimum period of time which is necessary.
자, 그럼 우리 어떻게 요 6 months 기간에 전국을 휩쓸었다.
That means that leave us 6 months to work upon. So father's concern is in next 6 months to come, how would father formulate a strategy to cope against the would-be movement that would come 6 months later? That would be sure father knows. What else would they do after
이런
eating
스타일을 예상하면서 선생님이 5년 전부터 NCCSA를 만들어 나온 거야.
So father saw this.
노동자는 오면서는 노동자는 말에 뭘 갖다 준 거, 그 사상 가져가지고 전부 다 묶어 나가는데 우리는 물건 갖다 주고 노동자는까지 한국의 사람들 앞에 물건을 갖다 주고 묶어 나가자. 이것이 NCCSA 운동의 기본에 가야 된다.
Father saw this 5 years ago. Father saw this, of course, longer time than that. But father started NCCSA 5 years ago, and then have been preparing for this general time. That ordinary people, like ordinary worker, let's say.
공산당들은 그 책에다가 물건은 뭐 노동자를 위해가지고 하도 다 넣어주면서 책 가져가지고 가르쳐 교육해가지고 그 노력하는데 우리는 물건 꺼진 게 다 주면 교육도 해야 두 가지죠.
And the communist has been boasting that all material, all things, all goods belong to the worker first, but then they never gave anything to the workers. But rather they try to educate them through ideology. But now instead of doing that, we will literally give the materials, give goods, give food and things.
We are going to take two ways. One way is educating ideal way. One way is giving that material.
We will be doing both ways.
Low level 사람을 이거밖에.
So this low level people, they are just as much influenced by this giving of material, this generosity, than as by idea.
그래서 공산당은 지금까지 뭘 하나도 안 가져요. 이거 전부 다 노동자를 이런다 하죠. 이거 NCC에서는 공산당에서 사상적으로 가르치고 교육도 해주고 말이야. 뭐리 뭐든 어려운 것도 도와준다는 이것밖에 길이 없다.
So that general understanding, general idea will be that the communists, they promise a lot of things, but they have never done anything to us. But on the contrary, the unificationists have given us the ideal which they have no objection, but at the same time they gave us so many goods which communists promised they didn't give, but they didn't even promise, but they gave us. That kind of a general consensus, general idea we would like to form. And of course we have to embrace the workers and the laborers.
그러면서
So these are also the communistic.
그래서 서두리라는 뜻이 뭐냐면 종교계를 첫 번 선달라고 하니까 빠른 시일 내에 6개월 내에 종교계를 초급화 운동을 해가지고 어떻게 먹냐는 문제.
So next 6 months, how to make this our organization NCCSA extremely effective, that not even going to the non-religious workers, but all the religious groups, how to bring these churches into unity is our first question.
공산당이
Is our first task.
공산당을 막게 됐다. 공산당이 하나님의 원수를 가르쳐 공산당을 막게 되는 이 운동을 주삼고 초종파적 결합운동이 벌어질 텐데 이것은 31일 날 국회에서 하는 운동의 그러한 기본 이런 선생님이 보는 관점에서 나타난 첫 번 움직이는 사실을 여러분 알아야 된다고.
So you must realize, Father's imminent concern was how to bring the world into safety, bring the religious world, the religious entity into safety. How to preserve this, how to survive this, and after that, of course, is the next step of better educating them. But first, we have to survive out of communism. So Father's NCCSA was really desperate in that respect, and Father has been working this through superdenominational. even religious people, not knowing where their enemy is coming from, they're fighting each other, or they're bickering at the small differences compared to what enemy is trying to do to us, to them. Their own difference is so small, but not realizing that they've always been in conflict. So Father created super-denominational activity, trying to convince the people this is not the time to bicker against each other, but rather prepared against the huge enemy who is outside. We have been very successful until now.
교회 침투되는 이런 뭐 어떤 하류계급의 사람들을 물질러서 도와주고 정신적으로 교회 가자. 이러면 공산당을 막을 수 있는 것은 기독교를 중심 방어하는 문제하고 그다음 공장 방어하는 거고 그다음 학교 방어하는 이런 여러 생각이에요.
So it's coming in a conclusive statement that to cope against communism, we have to first protect Christianity. The secondly, we have to protect the factories from being run out by workers, communist instigated workers, influenced workers. We have to preserve the factories. Number three, we have to preserve the schools. Schools, we even now to see the trend of what is a school necessary. It's not valuable, but we have to preserve these schools as well. Theology as well.
중고등학교 교육 제도로부터 시정해가지고 공장에서부터 공산주의를 교회에서부터 공산을 방어할 수 있는 교육을 해나가자 그런 교육사들이 없다는 거예요.
All of this takes education. We can only achieve this through education. Talking to the people and let them understand we can do this. And we let them understand, we educate in the Christian churches, we educate in the factories, and we also educate in high schools and middle schools and upper schools, letting them know what is the forthcoming enemy towards all this, the world of God, the world of free society.
자유세계에 할 수 있는 능력을 가진 단체는 없다는 것이 공산당의 관점이에요. 그러니까 어떤 레브런을 어떻게 해줄 수 있는 그런 관점에서 세계 공산당의 레브런을 이것을 참 집중 공세를 하지 않으면 안 된다는 결론이 저희들은 사실 알아야 된다고.
Communists are the first one to know that nobody can do this staggering work, the extreme the work here in America. Communists know nobody can do that except the Reverend Moon and the Unification Church can do this. We don't know what America will think. They probably think 100 different ways without responsibility, but communists know the only entity that can do this in America is Reverend Moon and the Unification Church. Communists know.
그래서 여태는 중에 어떤 빠른 세례 레브런은 언론계가 레브런을 치고 만들어 놓는 게 제일 중요한 거예요. 빠른 세례.
So the Father is running with running against the time in the shortest period of time to solidify the media to prevent this surge of flood coming in the near future. How we cope with this? How do we prepare this?
그러면서 국회 배후 연결 문제라든가 여러분 상상하지 못할 선생님의 설교를 지금 준비했던 걸 알아야 된다고.
So you see the goal, you see what needs to be done and what is forthcoming. So there's no area Father did not think. Father had to make these preparations behind the scenes of congresses, you name it. So-called ordinary religious person, all they have to do is just pray and hope something will happen. Never, hundreds of things we have to do with our own hands. You know the reason why now.
무슨 말 들었어?
Do you understand?
저 사람들이 저렇게 불치해서 열리는 것이 그냥 다 안 된다고.
So Father thinks this is the first thing that has had to come at this time of the history. But then if you feel comfortable, then you're wrong. So they said, so they were righteous, so they spoke out some clever, some pithy words. But left alone, don't be optimistic. Somebody has to continue to direct clearly and bear the burden of pulling them as a locomotive. Sacrifice.
무슨 말 들었어?
Do you understand what Father is pointing at?
너희들은 뭐 전도하기 힘들고 뭐 할게 뭐도 불편하지만 선생님이 이런 준비를 남모르는 가운데 해가지고 한때를 준비해 나왔던 그것이 역사가 1년이면 10여 년을 표준하고 나왔다는 사실이라고 말했다고.
Until now, we Unification Church members have been saying the things we wanted, have been complained a few words of complaints as we wanted, because our daily work was rough and tough. But Father, on the other hand, had to think all the situation of the world and the elements of the world, and not only think about that, but had to prepare with the physical work, physical planning, to do something to prepare for formidable day where the communistic will surge, will bring out this one huge offensive of theirs. Father created Washington Times as a step towards this, the goal of preparation.
종교지도들이 미국의 종교지도들이 레브런문을과 하나 안 돼가지고는 종교가 살 수 없다는 결론이 목전의 모든 움직이는 신앙과 레브런 개부의 닦아진 기반을 볼 때에 이건 결정적인 차원을 인정하고 나설 단계에 들어왔다는 걸 알아야 돼.
Now the time has gone into such a verge, such a time era that the people around us will see, oh, the Reverend Moon is the only hope to bring all these things for making the survival possible. Then not only that insight, but also they will listen to what Reverend Moon teaches. Then they know the real tool by which they can do that. Also not only that, they will look around all the physical worldly foundation, material foundation as well, and their trainedness to yield this material. They see, oh, not only ideal way, but physically, Reverend Moon and his group is capable of doing this immense and gigantic task of fighting all against the world single-handed.
그들도 알기를 기독교를 새로이 부흥 수는 레브런밖에 없다. 그다음에 공산주의를 완전히 깨려면 레브런밖에 없다. 이 미국의 윤락된 모든 개폐적인 사상을 철폐는 레브런밖에 없다. 그걸 보편적으로 알기 때문에 저들이 움직이는 거야. 알기 때문에.
Through this, we can see what they have come to be aware. First, they came to be aware that Reverend Moon can bring the unity among churches where nobody can bring the unity among churches. They knew. This traditional Christian churches into unity.
Unity and revival.
And the revival of this Christianity, which they've been wanting so much, but nobody could do that. They knew it. Every single one of them knew it. But now they know Reverend Moon can do that. That's number one thing they knew. Also, the communistic menace, the higher great people knew. And they knew everywhere. Congress is not doing anything. The government is not doing anything. Nobody is doing anything. On the contrary, everybody is indirectly or directly helping this trend to encourage. They know that. But only Reverend Moon can fight against communism, and he is the only man who is serious intending to fight against communism, even single-handed. They know that. That's the second thing they know. The third they know, America is fast on the verge of the danger of crumbling because of moral decay, because of youngsters losing all values. Drugs and free sexes, they melt their brain like butter. And in the end, there's no appreciable value. They're existing not any better than any animal in the moral standards. But Reverend Moon can change this young people, re-educate these young people, because they saw that through Moonies. These three things, for the first time in the history, and the first time in their life, came to be aware. That is why they gathered together and they put up a rally and spoke what they spoke. We know what they know now.
그러면서 레브런은 욕을 먹고 천대받고 장들도 천대했고 전 세계가 천대한데도 이만큼 싸운 이런 기반을 갖고 있는 레브런을 존경하지 않습니까?
They also
저들이 산성인까지 living saint라고 말합니다.
They also knew the general circumstances where this conviction came to be aware of. In other words, Reverend Moon did all this while there was an incredible and disgusting bias and bigotry and all this prejudice. Amongst this persecution, Reverend Moon did that. They saw that, therefore, on top of these three things they are already aware. They knew on what circumstances Reverend Moon could do that. Therefore, some will give the utmost the praise to Reverend Moon, saying that he is a living saint, and he meant it when he said that.
저것을 먼저 해서
One human being came to that deep down awareness.
선생님 말을 어떻게 생각해? 넌 미국이 그렇다고 생각해?
Then
너 미국 사람들 어떻게 미국?
let Father, you as an American, ask this question. As an average American, do you think what Father pointed out, 100% you feel and it's so true and really they go along with that? Or still as an average American, let's say standard of 10 years ago, or someone like that? Oh, maybe Father has a point, but then that is too far-fetched. Do you think?
No.
The same face value?
너 그래? 왜 간단한 거야? 어? 내가 이 나라 떠는데 모든 뭐 감옥부터 갈 필요도 없는 거야.
Think. It's simple. When Father leaves this country behind and goes someplace else, what doesn't even need to go to the prison?
그렇지만 내가 떠나면 다 허사가 되기 때문에 감옥에 들어가서 주장한다.
But when Father leaves, do you think this trend will be automatically sustained and developed? This is why Father chose to remain in country no matter what. Even in the prison, Father will have to make sure that this will grow.
그만큼 심각하다 말라서.
To protect America. If that serious, is Father serious?
그래서 그동안에 신학교를 내세워가지고 지금 그 9년 동안이구만 9년 동안을 이 때를 맞이해서 지도요원을 만들기 위해서 지금 350명 가까운 사람 저를 이번 저로까지 나오게 되고
7 years ago, 9 years ago in the UTS, the Unification Theological Seminary, Berrytown, Father conceived this. For this day, every day with such an incredible bleeding, the bleeding that is, bleeding, the shortage of man and shortage of manpower and shortage of money, Father has been sustaining the theological seminary and trained the master's degree in theology for 2 years, 3 years of intense course. So now somewhat 350, 400 graduates came to be being.
이렇게 볼 때 너는 목사들 신학을 몰라가지고 목사들을 지금 신학 공부한 목사들을 상대할 수 없다.
Unless some of the Unification Church members speak the same language as the ministers and deacons and Christians, same terms and same language, there's no way we can convince them what they are led to believe is possibly wrong and what they are teaching is possibly right. We can't say that.
자, 너들 신학 공부는 기성교회 때문에 너들 고생했으니 전부는 기성교회를 보여줘야 된다. 아벨이 가인을 구하자는 돌아왔어요.
So Father urged
원리가 그렇잖아. 원리가.
urged to the students that studying is like a burden. Study, Father knows, is not easy. Somewhat it's more difficult because they're confined to schoolrooms and then wrestle with the books and all the like. But unless you sacrifice yourself this way and make it good in your fluency in language, you cannot get back to Christian churches and speak to the clergymen and speak to the ministers. So what good it will do if you have a gold inside unless you can express that? That's what Father has been urging. Abel must first help Cain, save Cain, and Cain appreciate that, and together they will be saved. Abel themselves, there is no way to be saved all by himself. Father has been urging that for 9 years.
설교가 기독교가 이번에 이 30년 묶어질 때는 사실은 원리 관점의 하나의 위대한 세계사적인 조건이 되어 있다는 거 알아야 된다.
So the fact that Christianity, with all this agony in the background, as Father has been working on, somehow come into rally in the same place and come into unity. Impressive unity is truly not only historical, but dispensationally, this is a very significant monumental happening.
내가 이 법정 대법원 판결에 반대하고 미국을 기독교를 조작, 이놈의 자식들이 받는 유대교 조작을 때문에 다 깨지는 게 다 그걸 품고 그 이상 넘어서 나가기 때문에 이것이 이런 환경이 돌아들어오는 거예요.
Which will serve as a good condition dispensationally. If Father, on the contrary, met the injustice and tried to counter that with another injustice, saying, ridiculous, then the Father will just draw the line and just left this country without much thinking after that. or even attack frontally. We all go protest or in violence or in peace, whatever. Then there's no way of saving them. On the contrary, Father just did not say anything to them, no matter how harsh. Even the outside the world, people say it's too harsh for Reverend. Even though they said it, Father himself did not say anything. So, Christianity, with that price Father paid, Christianity, with that condition, Christianity found their way in to really one place under God.
그래서 기독교만 하나 되면 노동자, 공장 문제 아니고 학교 문제.
These three things we have to unite. Of course, the first most important the element, the factor is this unity of the Christianity. Once Christian churches are united, Christians are united, factories and the schools are there more like a secondary. But by far, primarily, we have to bring this unity and hold them into unity and strengthen them into unity.
기독교 우리가 하나 됐다 하게 되면 학교와 이 공장은 자연히 공장은 이제 기지가 없습니다.
When the school and the factory come to trust us, come to have a hope in us, then the communists will lose all the footholds. Whatever the communists will say and do will have no meaning after that. So the Christianity, this is by far the most important thing we have to do.
원리가.
And the divine principle, they direct to destruction too.
Divine perspective, view point of the light that can do.
In other words, this is a divine principle perspective. In other words, the phenomena viewed in the position of divine principle. Cain and Abel. The law starts from here.
그래서 그러니까 이것이 국회의원을 전표에 휩쓸려야 돼. 전 미국의 교회를 순식간에 휩쓸려야 돼.
Not only Congress, of course, we will raise our voice toward the Congress. Not the wide voice, but then the very reason, the voice of reason we give to them. But also we have to shout this out to the area of society.
Christian society.
And the Christian society, every corner of the Christian society, to urge them come under God, one banner of God. Do you understand? This is what we must do now.
이 운동에 가입을 시킨다고 보니까 이제 이 동계되기 때문에 전부 다 비디오 집을 꺼지 만들었나?
이 비디오는 워싱턴에서 만들고 있습니다.
빨리 만들고 있어요. 전부 다 이걸 이걸로 서죠.
So this is very monumental. The meeting in the dispensational history as well as religious history, human history. We will make a fast copy of these, distribute that to every reachable area so that they can see with their own eyes what had happened.
여러분이 금년에 정원부터 3년 노정을 발표한 것도 이런 때가 오는 것을 예상을 했고 여러분이 250개 기동대 기지 50명씩 만들어갔던 것도 이러한 때를 중 삼고 그런 기간이 없으면 이 미국 전역에 운동을 못한다고 봤기 때문에 그런 걸 조금 더 지시한 거예요.
The things happen now, but then Father has been preparing for this for 3 years ago. Remember, all of us have been giving double, triple missions. At that verge, we have been urged to go 50 the mobile teams and now 250 stations. Tirelessly worked in the last 3 years to be prepared at this time.
Yeah, if we are going to make that kind of 225 mobile team all over the country, we cannot move organization all over the country. You know that 225 basement is that foundation is basement. You know,
if we have
basement.
250 mobile teams, we cannot go on the move every time.
We can make an organization all over the country. Easily. Not difficult, easily.
But this is stationed permanently.
So the first time we are going to work in that Christian church. So that we have to prepare UST. UST.
네, UTS.
UTS. UTS members. Always we have had always that kind of members. Immediately in this time we are gathering all graduated members, one place, spread at 225 places. Centering those people, we can make NCCC and Khaosan movement and church movement, every movement. Centering one with one.
So that one person, the UTS graduates, Father has prepared just for this day. Father never gave that person to any other organization, remember? Now Father bring all that back and then station them to 225 permanent stations.
So
not only this.
So the Father is preparing that 225 truck and mobile house. Mobile house. If we get the 250 truck, we can many materials, everything. We can get that agricultural department. They have many stock material, mountable, much over. So that we have that truck, many truck, and moving that kind driver. We can get everything, every time, any time we can get abundant material there. So that distribute many churches can distribute many churches. We can distribute that kind of material in a day, 100 more churches. You think about it. They always received material, their church minister. So the army must following that place. Already you received many material. I send that kind of material to you. So that I visit to you. Now I visit to you. So they talk, discuss everything. Our movement contents, our organization is like national activity. Huge. Why? We have to prevent communism. Communism. How can protect this communist movement in our church? Church means God's side. Communism means Satan's side, the materialism. Now this is materialism absorbing all over the world. Swallow everything. We need this kind of atmosphere. We cannot stand there. So we have to stop now. It is everybody. Now it's New Year. So that we are caught. How can fighting the communists against them? How can lead your church, making organization? We can do everything. We trained many during many years. We have trained always. Some center members, our center members call some kind of churches, making organization immediately. Low level people belong to church. Until now, those church, anyone doesn't help that kind of church. Now in a poor situation. In this like situation, unification members bring that many material things. They need in lifetime. Many things. We can get everything, anything. Day and night. Yeah, this day and night. That means then heaven foundation spread out all over the country. This is free world living, waked up, working. This movement is like the most highest revival. high level, calm down, low level. All together one time can make individual. In this like time in history, 200 American history, first time made this like. Made this like atmosphere. We have no clarity. How can stand? So that we have to make up in your mind. New. Have to make up in your mind. Do you follow me?
Yes.
This is a point of history. This is a point of providential time. This point of last end day. That kind of serious. And magnificent.
Father said this is the magnificent time in dispensation.
Do you follow me?
Yes.
너들 저 교회 추락이 있으면 물건만 대주면 하루 몇 개 가서 배달할 것 같아.
All of you, if
실제 이걸 해야 돼. 이거 해야 돼. 안 해.
in a practical way, not any other abstract way, but practically, if Father give you each one of you a truck, how many churches do you think you can deliver these the surplus agricultural and also other food materials? How many contacts would you have to give them, distribute them? One said 500 churches he can go distribute.
We can make warehouses, and then by having a warehouse, the one truck can just serve one warehouse, and then from one warehouse, even 200 churches can work with that one warehouse. That's already being done.
그러니까 말이에요. Yeah, you can prepare. Everyone has no problem. Many churches, many styles that city, town is famous men. They are going to control everything. Mayor, police chief, anything can connect with them. No problem. No problem. Sometimes they are contacted with a big company. Big company has that kind. We are. After talking about, can get rent everywhere. No problem.
We can borrow for this cause. Just let.
So that you have to think about this representative. I will prepare everything. I will do everything. Think about it.
You tell them that you will do everything. Just let the material stand there for a few days. You will get your truck. You will get your man. You will get the buy gas and everything. All they need to do is just
If you're working too much hard, after every people do, they respect you. They are great men. After you think about it, you can rent the truck everywhere. You can men calling together everywhere. No problem. No problem. First time how can make effective result.
So first we have to concern about that. How effective we can work. How many places can we deliver that? Because there's endless supply.
So you now think about this. We are standing the dead end borderline. Other standing borderline, death end. Life, live, and death.
So we are standing on the borderline of life and death. If we succeed in this, then the religious world of life
we have to make it. We have to take the survival way. Clear.
So now we are up to is a survival. We have to make sure that America will survive. That means we have to make sure that churches survive.
너들 안에 이 일을 하면서 선생님이 단체를 10개 가까운 단체를 만든 너들 모른다고.
In order to do this, Father activated more than 10 different organizations, all contributing to this same goal.
여러분이
And
시작할
much of
때
that you don't know.
여러분이 시작할 때는 별의별 단체가 움직여 나온다고 보는 거야. 별의별 단체가 움직여 나온다고 보는 거야.
It's still not visible, but when you carry out Father's order, carry out, we determine ourselves, we do the Father's plan, then the unexpected sources will come to help us. Because they already are prepared before that.
그래서 국무성이 날 무수하고 the CIA 무수하는 거야. 무수하는 거야.
The State Department and the CIA, of course, know the overall view, overall possibility of Father. So they are downright afraid. They're not saying Father is wrong.
너희들이 모르는 거야.
They just are afraid because that impact is so big.
언니 didn't know. 뭐니.
Only the Unification Church members are one of the last ones to know. That's ironic, but then it's
ironic way and mysterious way.
but at the same time it's mysterious.
The truth. 자, 레버런드만이 미국 안에서 어떻게 갔어요?
Just think,
레버런드만이 아니라 어떻게 갔어요? 해보라고.
if Father didn't come to this country 10 years ago, then what would this country be? Where would this country be today? And yet, 10 years from now on, we can entertain that in our imagination.
자, 이거는 움직여서.
So, should we move? Should we really move now? Move ourselves? Move around?
저 주책임자부터 트럭을 타고 운전해야 돼.
State leader will be the
배워줘.
state leader should be a first-rate truck driver, drive the truck himself, and deliver these goods to the churches.
Yeah, drive that. State leader driving that truck, teaching your members.
To what to do and how to do.
How to do moving that. Moving taking distribution for church. You have to teach them. After they educate after them, you can sit there. You can comment them automatically.
If you do that,
You are foundation. You have to make it.
if you do that first for some time, after that you can tell other people to do and expect that
Same thing.
they do.
Father came to America. Father made every foundation. Father, myself, anyone doesn't make that kind of foundation. Only made Father himself. Same thing. Same thing. Same thing. So the new members doesn't see how can working, doesn't learn how can work. They cannot work. They cannot do it.
We cannot expect the new members, our members, new Unification Church members, expect you just give them order and expect them to do, because they don't know, just as much as you didn't know 2-3 years ago, 5 years ago.
That is theoretical way.
This is reasonable, it's true to the theoretical way.
아니 선생님한테 이런 거 잘.
Do you understand?
너 신학교 나눠서도 손 들어봐.
Those who are UTS graduates, baritone graduates, raise your hands. Here.
너무 잘 운동해.
And of course, Father expects you to be the driver, to be the delivery boy, and to be everything in Father's tradition. You have to set out your own foundation.
국민학교 선생은 국민학교 박사를 가져서 국민학교 책을 읽어야 된다고. 몇 번을 읽어야 된다고. 마찬가지야. 국민학교 선생님은 국민학교 학생 아버지가 돼야 돼. 마찬가지야.
Same way, to some of you, if you are going to teach grammar school, even if you are PhD, you have to study grammar school book again, all over again, to teach them. If you are UTS and got all that high degree,
no matter how famous UTS crazy member. You have to learn the how to drive the truck. Then normally, teacher is going. Normal, not informal.
That's quite normal way that they have to come down and drive the truck because you want to teach how to drive the truck to new members.
Reverend 누구잖아? Reverend made Ocean Church. Himself leading the Ocean Church.
The fleet and the fishing vessel.
Right on the boat, many years, teaching, learn everything. After teaching, catching tuna. Same thing. Same.